Help! I can't play the bongos.
Help! My cholesterol's off the scale and the charts.
Help! I don't have arms or legs, for that matter.
Help! I paid the ferryman.
Help me!
People, please, don't worry, I got this. Brought to you, as always, by half-frozen ice cubes.
Hey, there's water in there.
You're at the center of something really big now. It's not just about you anymore. It's more about the choice of millions of American women. Oh, what I do now?
That's Laura Dern as Ruth Stoops from Alexander Payne's Citizen Ruth. One of 5 movies I want to talk about today that are criminally underseen. First, let's start with another very special comedy.
Smile, though your heart is aching.
Michael Ritchie's Smile from 1975 was made just a year before his smash hit Bad News Bears. As most everyone knows, Bears is a real sharp, cynical delight. It's not just a kid's baseball movie. It's a real slice of Southern California suburban life in the 1970s. Ritchie used this same formula for Smile. This time it's the suburbs of Santa Rosa in Northern California, where the town's luminaries are busy preparing for their annual Young American Miss Beauty pageant. We follow this unwieldy and bloated stage production from rehearsals to the big night. There's a definite Altman-esque panoramic style to Smile, and it really makes it a great companion piece to Altman's Nashville, which was made the same year. Smile follows key pageant players including Bruce Dern's Big Bob, a super pumped, super obnoxious car salesman and chairman of the pageant, who thinks of himself as a big shot in the community.
Gold this year, huh?
Barbara Feldon is Brenda, the matriarchal pageant coordinator whose calm, cheery demeanor masks her unhappy home life with a depressed husband. And then there's Little Bob, Big Bob's son, a scheming little douchebag played by Eric Shea who, along with his horny pals, has only one mission: to get naked pictures of the girls by any means necessary.
Wow, look at that one from Bakersfield. Oh, I got something she can bake in her field. I hate it.
Along for the ride, we have a jaded and miserable choreographer flown in straight from Broadway, played by real-life legendary choreographer Michael Kidd.
Have any of you had any dance experience?
Does square dancing count?
Not with me, dear.
Many of the teen girl contestants are recognizable faces. Melanie Griffith is, of course, captured in various states of undress. Denise Nickerson, a.k.a. Violet Beauregard, is here. And Annette O'Toole plays Doria, the jaded pageant veteran. What I really love about Smile is its judgmental and snarky attitude, which makes little moments like this one, an orchestra pit exchange, truly memorable.
I went to Juilliard for this?
We all went to Juilliard.
Smile is not afraid to portray beauty pageants, especially teen pageants, for what they really are: barbaric, misogynistic, and cringy to the core. Smile is not afraid to shine a spotlight on pure, good old American suburban dysfunction.
I have full confidence in your skill in battle.
2018's Overlord, produced by J.J. Abrams, kicks a very large amount of ass. It's a crazy genre mix-up of World War II action and freaky, gory horror. We follow an African-American soldier whose plane is immediately shot down over rural France. When on the ground, he finds that only 3 of his compatriots have survived the crash, and now they're in deadly enemy territory. Their no-nonsense superior, played by Wyatt Russell, is still hell-bent on completing their mission to blow up a nearby tower. The crew meets up with a courageous French girl whose village is occupied by sadistic Nazis, led by the disgustingly cruel Captain Waffner, played by Danish powerhouse Pilu Asbeck. The Nazis are conducting sick experiments with the many corpses they're responsible for. It turns out the black tar that flows beneath the village soil has supernatural restorative powers, powerful enough to reanimate corpses and give them super strength. The point obviously being to build an unstoppable army. And when the evil Captain Waffner injects himself with multiple doses of this magic tar in order to destroy our heroes once and for all, he turns into something truly grotesque. Wyatt Russell is mostly known for playing lovable goofballs in things like Lodge 49 and Everybody Wants Some, but here he gets to play a tough-as-nails explosives expert and channel his dad Kurt's manly gravitas. taking place over the course of a single night. Overlord is lean, mean, shockingly violent, and totally awesome, and it's a totally nutso combination of Inglourious Bastards and Reanimator.
Somewhere the sun is shining.
In 1979, Steve Martin went from being a huge stand-up comedian to movie star with his movie The Jerk. Perhaps drunk with Hollywood clout, Martin decided to really go for it and choose for his next project a pricey, total downer of a musical set in the 1930s Depression era, featuring musical numbers that had the actors lip-syncing to old radio hits of the 30s.
Yes, yes, my baby said yes, yes. I'm glad she said yes, yes, instead of no, no.
Relentlessly grim and achingly sad, there's no way in hell Pennies from Heaven was ever going to succeed. When it did indeed bomb hard, Steve Martin went right back to churning out goofy comedies and would go on to star in many, many, many terrible movies. It's clear that Martin learned an important lesson from the Pennies from Heaven experience: never, ever, ever try hard. It's just not worth the anguish. Miracle of miracles, however, Pennies from Heaven is a masterpiece. Hands down my favorite musical of all time, right up there with Umbrellas of Cherbourg. By having these broken, downtrodden characters lip-sync to peppy, optimistic pop songs of the era, the irony flows freely and powerfully like wine, remaining potent throughout. As if the film's commercial prospects weren't dire enough, Martin dares to play a complete tool. Arthur is a short-tempered, super horny, and manipulative music sheet salesman who sees himself as a Pied Piper of good vibes, spreading the joy of the hit parade throughout the land. He sets out on a big road trip to make his fortune, and of course he finds out immediately that no one is remotely interested in what he's selling. Arthur soon falls in lust with Bernadette Peters' Eileen, a timid schoolteacher who makes the mistake of relenting to his endless advances, and ends up getting pregnant by him. Of course, by the time she finds out she's with child, Arthur is already long gone, having gotten what he wanted. Eileen is soon fired from teaching, from being pregnant out of wedlock, and falls into the hands of a dangerous pimp played by Christopher Walken. Walken completely steals the show with a bawdy and profane little number in a smoky bar that shows off his considerable dancing chops 20 years before that Fat Boy Slim video.
Long time ago.
In my favorite scene, a homeless man, played by choreographer and playwright Vernell Bagnaris, moves with jaw-dropping grace to the title song. The 2018 film Border is already a streaming legend. And why do I say that? Because it's been on Hulu for like 4 years. I swear to God, it's just there, perpetually there. And it's going to get an audience the longer it stays there. And I'm sure it has a sizable one already. Although the generic title certainly doesn't help its visibility. Border is a quintessential adult fantasy film. Dark and creepy, it takes on some very silly subject matter and plays it completely straight. Tina, a lonely border agent, has a real problem. She's hideous. I mean, a real mieskite, if you know what I mean. Not a good-looking lady. Tina has always had a feeling that she doesn't belong in this world. Her feelings are validated when one day at work, she comes across a guy named Vor who miraculously looks and smells a lot like herself. The two are immediately drawn together, and soon Tina finally learns from Vor just what she really is. A troll. Stop, don't laugh, this is serious. She's a real-ass troll and she deserves to be celebrated. What follows is an awesome sequence where Tina experiences true self-discovery with the guidance of Vor. She has a great time running and swimming naked in the forest and eating all kinds of gross, yummy shit. And then, unfortunately for me and you, a little troll sex. Yes, these two eventually bump uglies, and to tell you the truth, I still haven't recovered from it. And guess what? One of them has a penis, the other a vagina, but you'll never guess who has what. The plot thickens, however, when, wouldn't you know it, Vor turns out to be one of those diabolical revolutionaries who has big plans to replace humans with trolls. Can Tina stop his maniacal plan? Will there be disturbing, translucent troll babies? Yes, please. And now for another one of my favorite comedies, Citizen Ruth from 1996. Laura Dern is Ruth Stoops, a homeless gas huffer whom everyone in town has already written off as a dead girl walking. All Ruth wants to do is be left alone to huff quality fumes and wither away. She's picked up by the cops one night for the millionth time and passes out in a jail cell, only to be bailed out by unlikely benefactors. Her savior turns out to be a family of evangelical Christians headed by the only person who could nail this role so completely, Kurtwood Smith.
Norm, are these your flyers?
Oh, did I leave those up front again? Thanks.
This is the last time, Stoney, I'm warning you. And you know what? Dale's out today. You collect carts.
The couple over here that Ruth is pregnant, and these pro-life kooks make it their mission to get Ruth to agree to have the baby. And so Ruth becomes their ticket to good publicity for their movement. Just as Ruth is getting used to eating every day and sleeping in an actual bed, she's kidnapped by a faction of radical feminists who see Ruth as a symbol of their fight for female bodily autonomy and are dead set on convincing Ruth to abort the baby. Citizen Ruth is the first movie directed by Alexander Payne, and it might be my favorite of his. It has that nasty humor that people really loved in Election, but I feel like Citizen Ruth hits harder, and it dares to get laughs from a really serious subject. Dern as Ruth Stoops is a force of nature in this movie, so profane that people do not know what to do with her. This is Ruth unleashing on her long-estranged mom, who all of a sudden shows up begging Ruth to have the baby.
Don't you do it! What if I'd aborted you? Well, at least I wouldn't have had to suck your boyfriend's
That's 5 of my favorite Underseen film pictures, and that's it for me. Doreen, take us out. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and share. Most importantly, subscribe and hit that alarm button. Remember, I have a film degree, so you don't have to.